Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Alright guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, man. Yo, UFC 283 was absolutely lit. So before we even get to the main card, we gotta talk Terrence McKinney. I mean, personally, I'm a huge Terrence McKinney fan. I even said it in last week's video to make sure to watch this fight just because dude's insane. I had no idea that Ismael Bonfim, along with his brother, I didn't realize they were both absolute beasts. Like, just fakes that knee, just sleeps him, bro. Like that knockout, especially in the early prelims, it was insane. I remember watching the fight and I was like, yo, this shit's crazy. Like you guys saw in the clip, like at first he knocks Terrence's mouth guard out. I think it was like the second time he actually knocked the mouth guard out. And then yeah, bro, goes up with the right knee, fakes the right knee, and then comes through with the left. Out cold before he even touches the ground, man. Shit's insane. And then yeah, special shout out to his brother. He also won with a submission. I mean, bro, it must be sick for you and your brother to both be fighting in your home country of Brazil and that both win in like amazing fashion. This was honestly insane as well. I really thought that RoboCop was gonna win, but Bruno came in. It was his UFC debut, just rocked him completely. Like, bro, literally comes through, just boom, just one shot, out cold, straight left. Craziness. Also, special shout out Shogun Mauricio Rua. It was his last fight. He got a fight in his home country of Brazil, and granted it didn't go his way, but shout out the legend, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does next. And now finally the main card. Johnny Walker versus Paul Craig was absolutely insane. Johnny Walker went for a kick, Paul Craig caught it, and Johnny Walker literally with his left leg in the air just throws a right hook, just completely downs Paul Craig, and just throws a bunch of hammer fists and stuff. Like, it was honestly ridiculous to see how much power Johnny Walker has even with one foot gone. Dude was literally hopping out one foot and just kept throwing his right and just knocked Paul Craig out. I think it just kind of shows how talented this dude is, and I think he finally has a really good team around him that's actually coaching him properly, and he's also, I'm sure, training properly finally. And so because of that, now we're seeing him in all of these big fights and also doing incredibly well in all of these fights. His last time out, he won with a submission, and now this time he got a KO win over Paul Craig, which is definitely huge. I am very excited to see who Johnny Walker ends up fighting next. Okay, so Johnny Walker is currently ranked 8th. Bro, him versus Anthony Smith, him versus even Krylov, and then I think Rakic is finally healthy again, so Johnny Walker versus Rakic would also be an amazing fight. All the younger fighters in this light heavyweight division are honestly insane, so this is becoming again one of the really good weight classes. And if I'm being honest, I feel like the UFC in general is just filled with talent. Like, I mean, honestly, if you look at the top 7 to top 10 in any division in the UFC right now, just filled with killers, bro. So hey, man, it's a great time to be a UFC fan, bro. But anyway, moving on to Jessica Andrade versus Lauren Murphy. Honestly, they should have just stopped this fight after like the 3rd round. Like, Jessica was literally just throwing bombs, and every single one of them was landing. Like, legit, by the end of the fight, Lauren Murphy did not look like herself. Her face was completely swollen. Like, it was insane. Even the commentary booth, everyone was like, yo, at this point you gotta throw it in. I can understand from like a fighter's perspective to be like, you know what, I'm already fucked up, so I might as well just stay here and get fucked up even more. It's not really gonna change much. But if I was the corner or the ref, at a certain point you gotta just stop the fight and be like, yo, one person's completely dominating the other and it doesn't look like it's gonna change. At a certain point, Lauren Murphy is just getting CTE. Like, straight up, it's just CTE, just getting hit with everything and just taking it. Like, bruh, I don't know. But with that being said, I would love to see Jessica fight for the belt. She's definitely a beast, so I'm very excited to see what happens with that too. Ooh, now we got Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. This fight surprised the fuck out of me. So even in my predictions, I had Gilbert Burns winning. I just didn't think it would be this quick. I genuinely thought it would go all 3 rounds. It'd be a super close matchup. It'd be like an amazing fight. But this man Gilbert Burns had different ideas. He literally came in, got the takedown, proceeded to just do his jiu-jitsu, got the arm triangle, got the tap. It was honestly a clinic, and it was so well done. Like, Gilbert Burns is an absolute monster, and then now after, he decided to call out Colby Covington as well as Bilal Muhammad. I'm actually editing this kind of late because Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal just got announced yesterday. And honestly, I think it's going to be a lit fight. I'm going to be talking about that more in the future. Let's get on to the rest of UFC 283, man. Then moving on to the co-main event, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno 4. Again, this one kind of surprised me in the sense of I had no idea that Brandon Moreno would be this dominant. Like, literally from the start of the fight to the end, Moreno was an absolute dog. Like, it almost felt like Figueiredo couldn't touch him at all. Also, my favorite moment of this fight was when Brandon was on the ground and then Figueiredo was trying to ground and pound him. But then Moreno got the sweep. And then from the sweep, Figueiredo got up, reversed it to a guillotine. Tried to get the guillotine, but then Moreno pulled out. Like, that scramble, that grappling scramble was amazing. So, like, right here, Moreno got that sweep. And then Figueiredo turned it right into that guillotine until Brandon was able to get out, which, yeah, they show right here. But for those of you guys who have never grappled before and never done jiu-jitsu, the amount of cardio that shit takes, like, they made it look so easy, but it's so incredibly hard to do because the whole time you're just squeezing your muscles, just weighing on the dude. Like, you have a whole ass man on you, and to do all that, the cardio is ridiculous. I just wanted to shout out that incredible scramble that they had. But yeah, man, moving forward, I'm so looking forward to Brandon Moreno versus Pantoja, which seems in all likelihood is what's next for Brandon Moreno. Even after the fight, they were talking to each other. I think Pantoja was trying to be a little like aggressive and try to say like at least start shit, and Moreno was like, "Yo, give me at least a day, and then we could talk shit later." But yeah, man, that fight is gonna be absolutely insane. Figueiredo, on the other hand, he's deciding to move up to 35. Which, bro, the bantamweight division is already so ridiculously stacked. Like, adding Deiveson Figueiredo, the god of war there, bruh. Like, with all of these names still here, where do you add Deiveson Figueiredo? Like, what would honestly be insane is if they have Figueiredo versus Sean O'Malley, or Figueiredo. I think pretty much everyone else has a fight for the most part. Maybe, I don't know if Dominic Cruz is scheduled for a fight yet, but Deiveson Figueiredo versus Dominic Cruz will be insane. Him versus O'Malley will be ridiculous. Like, bruh, whatever they decided to do with this division, like, already every time they announce a bantamweight fight, it's a banger. And so now, just to add one more dude who's an absolute dog, bruh, this division keeps getting better and better. Alright, finally, we are at the main event of the evening, the light heavyweight title bout, Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira. And bro, what a amazing fight, man. Like, Jamal honestly proved all of his doubters wrong. All the knocks against him were basically like, yo, he's just a one hit puncher. Like, everyone was like, yo, if it goes past the second or the third round, it's basically over. Everyone was counting his cardio out. A lot of people were also saying that if Glover gets him down, the fight's over. But through all of that, Jamal Hill just proved he's way better than people even gave him credit for, and he 1000% deserves that belt. Like, that left high kick from his southpaw that he started throwing, that shit was incredible. I think he said sometime later that it wasn't even in the game plan. It was just something he tried during the fight and just so happened to work, and then he just kept going with it. Like, honestly, even in the 5th round when Glover finally took him down, I really thought that, I think there was like 3 minutes left. And you could hear Glover's corner being like, yo, Glover, there's 3 minutes, do what you do. And then the second he said that, Glover started moving very methodically, got into mount. And once he got mount, I was like, yo, Jamal's fucked. But again, I just doubted his abilities in grappling. Or honestly, I think I even gave Glover a lot of credit for his grappling. And Jamal just proved me wrong by just getting out of it, just using his athleticism, just moving Glover out the way and just got back up. Or I guess, I mean, he got out, got inside, got some ground and pound in, and then got back up. This honestly was another fight where I think after the 4th round, they could have possibly called it. Again, it's like Lauren Murphy, where from Glover's perspective, I totally get that, yo, he's still technically defending himself. He's still moving around and able to guard himself. But at a certain point, I think your corner has to be like, yo, like Glover's clearly getting fucked up. It just seems like Jamal is just way better. And at a certain point, I think you call it. But that 5th round was also crazy. So I see both sides of it. But for definitely while watching live, I was after the 4th round, I was like, yo, I think I'm done watching this fight. I don't need a 5th round. But hey, man, I definitely see both sides. But in my personal opinion, I think the corner should 100%. After a certain point, the corner should 100% just quit. Like, especially in boxing, there's a bunch of like throwing in the towel for the benefit of the fighter. I think MMA should 100% just take some of that. Like, if you're 3, even like 4 rounds in and getting completely dominated, I think it's kind of the corner's responsibility to essentially be like, yo, we get that you're a very tough fighter, we get you're this guy, I think at the end of the day though, the corner definitely has to be like, I just care about my fighter's health. And if he's been getting dominated for 3 rounds straight, or at least the chance of him winning is so low that, especially if he's getting absolutely destroyed, just throw the towel in, just fight another day. Because I mean, no matter how tough you are, after certain punches to the head, like that's not good for anyone. So that's why I think at a certain point, throwing in the towel shouldn't be looked at as if you're quitting, but rather you're just kind of caring about your health. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Okay, so getting back to this though, Glover decided to retire after the fight. So again, shout out Glover Teixeira. At least they let him go out on his own shield. He was able to last all 5 rounds. Just go out the way I would assume he wanted, where it's like, yo, left it all on the line, left it all in the ring, or left it all in the cage. And now he's saying he's going to be just focusing a lot more on coaching, especially since Alex Pereira is there. He is the champ right now, so just coaching him, coaching his teammates, things like that. And I mean, Glover is the ultimate legend, won the belt at like 41, which is insane. And so yeah, again, huge shout out to Glover Teixeira, ultimate legend. Love to see him in the corner in the future and see what he does next in his career, man. Jamal Hill said that he wants to defend his belt against Jiri Prochazka whenever he does come back. Jiri said he's super down, and I think he's aiming to be good by the summer, so July, August-ish. So Jamal Hill versus Jiri Prochazka. Bruh, that fight, I honestly cannot wait for that fight. I again think it's gonna be an absolute barn burner. I feel like neither one is gonna let up on the other. They're both gonna be going at it. Bruh, the next time we have a light heavyweight title bout is gonna be insane, man. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for UFC 283, and it's also pretty much it for this video, man. As always, be sure to check out all the links in the bio. At least it's something I'm working on or something I'm doing, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm out of here, man.